Hello everyone, welcome to Python from the TinaTeach series. This is our second lesson for Python. Our goal for today is getting to know the basic syntax of Python, and then we'll have a little bit of fun in executing some of the common commands or codes that you can easily understand and remember. So first off, executing codes. So you can execute codes in a multitude of ways. Obviously, there are different software that you can write your codes on, but we're just going to go with the very basic, which is the IDLE that is automatically downloaded when you have Python in your computer. Now you can either execute it through the command line, right? Or you can create a Python file with the .py extension. I will show you each of these methods of executing in a bit. Next step, indentation. So for any other languages, for example, with Java and C, indentation is for readability. You look at the code and it's easier to process. And so it's just an aesthetic issue with Java and C and so forth. But for Python, indentation is how it recognizes where a block of code starts and where it ends. As I've written here, indentation defines where a block of code starts and when it ends. There is no strict rules for indentation as long as you do indent correctly for that specific block. Let's say that you have block 1 and you decide to indent 2 spaces, right? Then you can choose to indent 2 spaces consistently for that block 1. But for block 2, you can choose to indent 4 spaces, for example. So as long as you indent consistently within a specific block of code, there's no issue. As you can see here, you can choose how much you indent, but the minimum is 1 space, right? So you can do 1 space, 2 space, 3 space, 4 space, whatever. It depends on you. It's your preference. However, you have to use the same amount of spaces in a block of code, right? You can choose new indentations for a different block. So I have a little bit of a demonstration here. So this is 1 block of code, all right? And here, let's say you indent 3 spaces. So for the next line, you have to indent 3 spaces accordingly. If for whatever reason you want to indent 2 spaces only, you have to fix this part to get it consistent, or you can do it in another block of code. Next up, variables, very common part of any programming language. In Python, they are created when you assign a value to them. For example, I have the variable x here. I've assigned the integer 5. So now we have the variable x with a value of 5. That's it. As for y, we have the string y as well as z. We also have a string. Next up, comments. So as you know, comments is mainly for documentation or to hide codes temporarily to prevent it from being executed, so you can test different parts of code as well as debugging it. And like many others, comments are completely ignored. So this is a single line comment. Okay, you can do this, single line, or if you want a multi-line with the same symbol, you can just simply write it on another line, and just like that, all right? But if you don't want to repeat the same symbol again and again, you can use triple quotes, all right? Triple quotes to start and triple quotes to end. Single quotes also work as well, single or double quotes. Okay, now let's have a little bit of a demonstration. Since we've already dealt with the IDLE for lesson number 1, let's try the terminal. Going to full screen it and control scroll to zoom in. All right, now let's make a variable. X equals 10, y equals 10. Oh, let's make it 20 actually. My bad. All right, now let's print x and print y. All right, Now let's see what happens if we add the two together, because they are integers and you can add integers together. You have 30. Okay, next up, let's experiment a bit with the indentation property of Python. I'm going to create an if block of code. If x is larger than, if x is less than y, right? Enter. Now, this doesn't automatically indent for you, so you do have to press space, X is not bigger, my bad. X is not bigger than y. And now let's see what happens if we mess up the indentation consistency. Print, that's it. Okay, now if you enter, it returns indentation error, unexpected indent. Now let's write the same block of code one more time, but this time we have the correct indentation. Print x is not bigger than y. Go down, print, that's it. Okay, now enter one more time. X is not bigger than y, and that's it. Okay, now let's try some comments. Comments is comments, so that's single line. And let's do a multi-line. This is a multi-line, triple double quotes. Enter. Now let's try single quotes. This is another multi-line. Same thing happens, okay? That's it for our showcase for Python number 1. Alright, thank you for being with me here today. Learn today, better tomorrow, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.